Hello, this is Marek from Solo. Today I would like to show you a game called Veilwraith. This is a game created by Tristan Hall, the creator of games like Gloom of Kilford, Shadow of Kilford, the historical epic battle system. And this game was on Kickstarter last year, and now it was sent to backers. I have received the game for review from Tristan. Thanks a lot for sending it. And this is a dark fantasy game. And the first thing that is really interesting is what you can see from the cover. This game is fully black and white. There is no color in the game. All the cards are black and white. The rulebook is black and white. The box is black and white as well. So this is a very interesting idea, because I don't think I have played a game called the black and white game. I think there was a game called Arkham Noir that was also kind of black and white, but I didn't play it. And this is a, you can say, fantasy game. In a way, it takes place in the same universe as the Kilford series. But this one has a very gloomy like story and theme, because the action in this game takes place after the world has ended. In Gloom of Kilford and Shadow of Kilford, you played as a hero trying to defeat the arch enemy and trying to stop the gloom and darkness that came to the land of Kilford. And this game tells a story of what happened, you can say, when you failed, because the Overlord has come, the world has ended, nothing like has remained. The world is like a you know, faded black white like realm with some spirits and ghosts, you know, wandering the remnants of civilization. And you play as a Veilwraith, like a being that you know, tries to. It's really hard to say what the Veilwraith tries to do, like to save himself, or to save the world. The key is that you have to, when you play the game, you have to escape through different portals, and to do it you have to gather different keys. You will encounter some enemies, you will encounter some threats, and you have memories of different things that will help you. I know the description seems a little like maybe a little confusing, but in its core it's a card game where you have your deck of cards, you have cards for your enemies, the threat deck. And you know, every turn you play cards, you take cards from the threat deck, you need to defeat some foes and enemies, and you need to, you know, survive to find 5 keys and to escape through the portal. You have 5 vignettes in this game. The vignettes are like, you can say, scenarios, but not story-wise, but they tell you how to set the game up, what kind of cards and enemies to use. And you can play them as a campaign, like from 1st to the 5th one, or you can play them separately. And what's also important, this is a one-player game. When you get this box, it's a solo game only. You can play it cooperatively and competitively, but every person will need to have his own copy of the game. But to be honest, this is a solo game. You have like co-op or you know, multiplayer mode, but I think this was added like at the probably late stage of the game, because playing multiplayer Veilwraith, like it's like 2 persons, they play their own game. In some aspect they can interfere their own like play area, but in a way they play 2 separate games. So I'm very happy that Tristan decided to make a solo game like this, because Gloom of Kilford and Shadow of Kilford are my like favorite card games of all time, and they play wonderfully solo. They are like recommended by you know, most solo players. When you ask people what's the best solo game out there, a lot of people will say it's Gloom of Guildford or Shadow of Guildford. So I'm happy that Tristan decided to, you know, take the jump and created a pure solo game. We will open the box in a minute. I will show you the components. Even though there is a campaign, there are no really spoilers, because the story and you know, story text in this game, there are not a lot of, you know, story elements. You have the rule book, and it tells you, you know, what happens more or less in the world of Veilwraith, but on the cards there is not much story. You can make a story of your own. I also have something called alternate art expansion, and this is an expansion with cards that contain like a more, I would not say a family friendly art, but some of the characters are more like dressed and covered. So this is like a, you know, more family friendly version of some cards. And some people, you know, feel offended and they don't like to, you know, see some naked, not naked, but maybe, you know, not overly dressed men and women. They can buy this alternate pack and, you know, exchange the cards. And this is also fun, because I remember that in Shadows of Guildford and Gloom of Guildford you could also get a alternate art pack, but in Guildford games the alternate pack was the more gloomy and dark one, so it contained the more, you know, aggressive design of cards. And here is the opposite. it fits the theme, because, you know, Veilwraith is a gloomy game about the end of the world, so it's nice that this version in the box contains the, you know, the hardcore cards, and the safe cards are in a separate you know, art pack. I'm very curious how the game plays, because this game like it started a new series in Horror or Nothing portfolio, because they have this historical epic battle system, and there are already 2 games in the system. The third one was on Kickstarter this year, so this is like one series. Then you have Gloom of Guildford, Shadow of Guildford, and this summer, I hope, there will be a third game called Call of Guildford. So this is series number 2, and Veilwraith, I think it will be Tristan's third series that he will continue, because he already announced that there will be another game with this mechanics. I don't remember the name, it's called Manor or something like this. A Veil Odyssey game as well. The second game in this series will be in color this time, and it will be like a prequel to this game. So I'm very happy that Tristan wants to continue this series, and that this series was like a success. I think it was a success for him, because, you know, he wants to continue developing new games in this like setting. Sorry for talking so much, but I love, you know, Tristan games, and I love Guildford, and I can talk hours about it. So let's open the box and let me show you how the game looks like, because it's, as I said, very interesting black and white game, black and white card, black and white, you know, rule book and everything. So let's open it. Okay, so this is the box of Veilwraith. I also have a beautiful official playmat for this game. It's double-sided, so you can play on one side, on the other. On one side you have some, you know, descriptions which element of the game to put where, and on the second one you have just, you know, the boxes that shows you places to put the cards on. The playmat is also, you know, black and white, just like the game. What do we see here? It's from 14 plus age. For one player it takes about 30 minutes to play, and from what I know the time is right, because the game plays quite fast. It's kind of you know, hard to win. It's not an easy game, so you will probably have to repeat the vignettes and play them again. And because it's solo, there is no downtime, so I think 30 minutes is the right time to play this game. You can see the elements here, you can see the box content. I really like the art of this game. It uses some art from the Killforge series, but this is like a, you know, pencil drawn and black and white, so it's really cool decision to make a game like this. The box is quite big. This is a typical whole or nothing box size. If you have more of games from Tristan, it will look great on the shelf, because they have the same design, and they even have the same description of the games in the same, you know, exact space. So it looks really good. Here is the info about other games from Tristan: Shadows of Killforge, Gloom of Killforge, the historical games, Lifeform. This is an alien like game about aliens, and this is Blind Dark, a new game that is coming. We don't know when exactly. It's a horror game, and it probably will come to Kickstarter one day. I'm not sure when exactly. This is the rulebook, and the rulebook is quite nice. It's only 12 pages. The rules in this game are not very complicated, because basically every turn you can use one of the 3 available actions. You have your own deck, you have the threat deck, and in my opinion it plays a little similar to Lord of the Rings, the card game. I don't know if you played it, but in Lord of the Rings, the card game, it was of course a deck building game, but you had like a maybe not deck building, because you created a deck at the start of the game, but in Lord of the Rings you had the threat deck. You also, every turn you had to take 1 card from the enemy deck, and you have threats that were in your play area. You had your own cards, and you had to remove the threats in order to win. And also every scenario had like the number of points that you had to gather to finish it. So it plays a little similar. Here are some tokens. Whoops. They go right out of the punch board. These tokens allow you to add power to the certain actions, because you have 3 actions like fight, influence, and explore, and the actions have their own like power value, and you can use these tokens to make the actions more powerful. Not many tokens in this game, so this is cool. The setup in this game is also very quick. It's a game that you can easily play if you have like 1 hour or 30 minutes time in the evening, so you can set this game up, and it plays really quick. And these tokens are for the available actions, and they show you the strength and the power of the given action, because you put it on your play area and you put the action card below it, and every time you use an action you put it at the start of the queue. So an action with strength 3, next round will have strength 1, and the other actions will be pushed to the right. So this is a clever idea, because you cannot use all the actions all the time. And here are the ribbon tokens, and if you play campaign, they are like you can say, maybe not life points, because you have life points in this game when you play every vignette, but they show you how many times you can repeat the whole campaign, and you have 5 of them. So if you fail a given vignette, you can use this ribbon token and replay the vignette. When you're out of ribbons and you lose a vignette during the campaign, you lose the whole game and you have to repeat the campaign again. There are some ways to gain the ribbon tokens again in the game, but there are only 5 of them, so you have to be careful, and you cannot play this game forever. And here is this life counter. I don't really remember how the life is called in this game, because the game uses a lot of... okay, this is spirit. The game uses a lot of very specific names for different things, and the same thing was with Killford series. I think Tristan liked to find names that are hard to remember for a lot of a lot of elements. But this is cool because you have a dial, and it's much better than having a stack of tokens to use for your life points. 20 is the maximum number, and it will go down, and it will probably go down very quickly in this game because this is a difficult game. If you played Dark Souls games, digital Dark Souls games, you will probably know what I mean. It's very easy to lose here, and it's not. And even if you win, it will be like at the last possible moment probably. And these are separators. It's cool because you can put them in the box, and if you unbox the cards here, you can easily locate the card in your box, so you can set up the game quicker. It's cool. I like this idea of these separators. Some of the separators are for the expansion, because the game on Kickstarter came with an expansion called Absolution. I have the expansion here. I will not show it in this video. Maybe I will make a next video about this expansion. But it's nice that they already included cards for the expansion here. Here we have some crystals that you can use to track different things. If there's an enemy, a foe, and it has some different statistics, and you defeated some of his abilities during the game, you can track them with the crystals. It's cool, they're nice. And one thing you might have noticed, that the box seems quite empty, because probably a lot of the components can be stored in just one compartment of this box. But this is like a clever design, because as I said, there's the expansion called Absolution, and this expansion fits here. So you can store the expansion and the base game and this alternative art expansion. You can store everything in the main box. So this is a clever design. I like it. I don't like to have like 5 boxes with components for the same game, because setting it up is not very convenient. And here we have the cards. Everything is black and white, as you can see. Okay, the cards are shuffled. So some of the cards are upgrades that you can get during the game. Archfiend, this is the like arch enemy that cannot be defeated. If you run out of the threat deck, you reshuffle it, and then you add the Archfiend to the deck, and when it comes up, you lose the game. So you cannot play very long, and you have to be quick about finishing the game. This is the portal that you have to escape through. You need to find 5 keys and then use the portal to escape and to win the vignette, the given scenario. Key. These are the 5 keys that you have to find. And as you can see, the keys are not really keys. There are some like memories and spirits that you encounter during the game. Every key has his special ability. One ability is when you turn it, you can use one additional action, for example, here, and then you can flip it to use a special action. And these keys are shuffled in the threat deck, and you have to find them during the game to escape through the portal. Here are some threats, some enemies. They have information how many spirits they will take away from you at the end of the turn if you do not defeat it. Here is the information how much special abilities like influence and fight and exploration you need to get, what value you need to get to defeat it. And the cool thing is that some cards are in more like multiple copies of the card. Like you have the Enforcer, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, but they have different statistics. Like you can see 3, 4, and it uses a different ability to defeat it. So this is really nice, because when you set the game up and the game tells you to use 2 Enforcers, you never know which one you will get during the given gameplay. I really like the art. I know that some people said that they are not really fans of the art in this game, like they prefer the high fantasy art style of the Killford games, but I think the art in this game suits this theme really well, because it's like a world that has ended, nothing has remained. This is just a realm with some spirits and everything is fading. So the black and white art is really nice. I really like it, especially when you consider that the playmat is black and white and everything is black and white. So when you set the game on the table, it looks different than I think most of the card games that I own. Really cool. As you can see, different threats, they are being shuffled in this game, so you never know what you encounter. Some are more difficult, like Anima. This is a foe that is very powerful. Deja, or I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but Dejas are the spirits that you encounter that are like less aggressive. Goblin King, this is a boss in this game, because every vignette uses some bosses that you need to defeat. Okay, this is help card. It's cool because it explains different icons that you can find in this game. The size of the box is also cool because you can easily store sleeved cards in it. And I don't know if you have noticed, but the cards here are bigger than usual. I think this is a tarot size. Okay, let me open it. So it's also nice because the cards are big and they look great on the table. It might be more difficult to find the specific sleeves, but I like big cards, especially in card games, because in card games you don't get a game board. You just have the cards that you use during the whole gameplay, and if they are, big, they look always nice. Here are the vignettes, like the scenarios in this game: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can get additional vignettes in the Absolution expansion, and you can play them in order as a campaign, or you can pick any one of those and play like a standalone game. Here are the actions: 3 actions: influence, fight, explore. They have more advanced version on the back. Sometimes during the campaign you have an ability to upgrade those to the more advanced version of the actions. So explore becomes hunt, fight becomes assault, and influence becomes charm. Memory of blood. And these are your cards, your deck, basic memories. And this game, even though it's a card game, this is not a deck builder, because you don't really buy new cards during your gameplay. You can upgrade some cards when you win a scenario, but you always have the same number of cards in your deck, so you cannot really call it a deck builder, because you only can upgrade certain cards. And these cards give you like special abilities. You can combine 2 cards to power up a certain action. I like the art a lot, because they look like photos with some pencil sketches on it. And there are a lot of cards in this game. It's cool. And here are the upgrades. So you can, when you win a vignette, you can remove one of the cards and you can add another card from the upgrade. You have 3 levels of upgrades, I think. Upgrade 1, upgrade 2, okay. So these are the more powerful upgrades that you can get during the game. Really cool. So here are all the cards, you know, tokens, the spirit dial, the separators. Now we can also open this alternative art pack. You can see it will be easier to, you know, compare the art here with specific cards from the base game, because I don't know if we will be able to spot the difference, but maybe. Okay, so here we have Mad Watcher, Succubus, Veils here, and I think they look a little different. It's hard for me to compare. Memory of Veil, Memory Basic. Okay, let's try to find the corresponding card here. It was called Memory of Veil. Ah, okay, so here we have it. Okay, there's different, you know, how do you call it? Different clothes, different dress. You can see less flesh on this card. So, you know, this is just a, you can call it cosmetic add-on. And if someone feels offended by the art in the base game, get this expansion and replace the cards. Maybe you want to play this game with children, I don't know, that they are sitting with you by the table, so yeah. So replacing some of the cards might be a good idea. So, okay, this is Veilwraith. This is how the game looks like. In my opinion, it looks awesome. I cannot wait to play this game. Visit me on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter. I will put the links in the description of this video. I will also put the links in the description to Horror Nothing website, because even though the game was on Kickstarter, I know there is still an option to buy this game. They have like a limited stock on their website, on their web store. So I will put a link, and if you like the game, if you think it looks interesting, you can visit Horror Nothing website. I will post a review and photos and, you know, my gameplay opinion on my Instagram probably. So thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.